Yo, what the hell is a flippant?
Welcome back to the Flippant podcast. I am your host, Flippant. I don't know how I messed that up. It's one of those days. All right, guys. One of those days, good as one of those days where I'm super relaxed. I went out and I spent a little bit of money on stuff that would make our lives easier. So I got and I'm not going to tell you what brand this is, but it's a magnetic charger for my phone. I also picked one up for the wife because I know that she might want one too. I went out to go pick up some chargers, some bricks that do 40-watt charging. All right, now a lot of men out there, especially in the manosphere, would say that I'm simping over my wife, but this is my job, is to make somebody's life easier while she's in return making my life easier. Not to put the blame on anybody, but it's just what I do. It's what kind of man I am. All right. You're never going to have anybody in your life if you think that, being selfish and only going after the things that you want is how, other people are going to see that you're more masculine. Then I don't see it like that. But, you guys might have your ways about you. You might have your ways about you, which is a great segue into today's video, because today we're going to talk about interracial relationships. And since I am in an interracial relationship, me being black and my wife being white, and we have a mixed kid, I think we should start there. Not start there, because our relationship is fantastic. Been married for 9 years, so I might know a little something about the good things that come with it. Whether it's cultural differences, and you guys are able to bring those two things, you guys are able to bring a part of your culture together, especially like, let's say my side of the family, is predominantly black. Her side of the family is predominantly white. And whenever we got together for Thanksgiving one year, we got to see some of those interactions. They weren't really all too negative. It was more of a culture shock. All right. And then there's going to be there's going to be some negatives that do come with interracial relationships, which I think you should be ready for. And as long as the internal differences are solved and settled, I think the external ones can be solved and settled, or you just decide to stay home more than not, because you're going to get looks. Doesn't matter. I don't want to give up what, we're going to have to do TikTok for these videos. Some of the internal struggles with interracial relationships is only sexual. All right, so like if black men are sexualized or fetishized for having big penises and being able to work that lower back, then it's going to be really hard to see the value that a black man can bring to the table outside of sex. And I've had that said in the past, where it was like, well, how do you know that, she's gonna listen to you and, your leadership style and all that other stuff. And I do think that there is issues externally, but internally is I'd have to force my position just like any other man. Like, if you get the BS test up front, then you have to, like, this is solid. This is what I'm going to do. This is where we're going in the future. And you have to make a woman believe that. Not only do you have to make her believe it, you have to show it. So there's some internal things. And then, you got the, like, towards white women. And these are the two things that I really know. It's like, we call them snow bunnies, and, well, I don't, per se. But they're called snow bunnies, and they're, some of the freakiest in the bedroom. And if you're talking about black women, it's like, oh, they know how to twerk on a pogo stick. And it's, so if you go outside of a sexual nature, which a lot of relationships are, but if you could see past some of those things where you're not just fetishizing a race that's not your own, then I think that, you can make these things work. Or I know you can, because I'm a great product of that. Not saying that they don't go through their trials and tribulations, like divorce and, other things like that. But we could get really into depth on this topic, but we're gonna keep it very topical, surface level. So without further ado, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get into this video. All right, what do we have up first? It says this is the best feeling right here. Check this out. Let's go. Now, this is something I haven't seen a lot of, being that, you know, it's a white man and a black woman. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, or I would never go and say something like, wow, one of our finest in the community is going after the opposite side. You know, but I don't think in those terms. What I think of is you might be a product of your environment, or you like what you like. Because the opposite, the latter side of that was, you know, my wife wasn't around a lot of black people, and then she found me. You know what I'm saying? Man, I treated her right. That's pretty much what it was. I mean, like, not only did I, well, we won't get into any of that, all right? But this feeling right here is an intimate feeling, all right? Because, like, if my wife wants her butt rubbed, it doesn't mean I'm clapping cheeks that day. It just means she wants her butt rubbed. And I mean, it's not something that you do in public or something that I'd show on a social platform, but it's a great avatar for what we're talking about. You could tell that it's, you know, there's a genuine feeling here. All right. Because any woman that I've ever had a fling with, we never got to this point right here. I'm not. Now I'm confident with my wife to where she's laying on the bed and, you know, I go up and rub her butt and, like, you know, it's nap time or something like that. We're fine. Let me know if I'm giving too much of my life away in this one. But, you know, just trying to set a good example out here. All right, let's go to the next one.
You do know that I'm black, right? 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 You do know that I'm black, right?
These were some of those cultural differences that I was talking about. You know, the seasoning of food, the heat of the water, and you could tell that they like each other. They've probably been with each other for a good minute, long enough to where they feel comfortable enough to go like, hey, look, this is my culture, this is your culture. I really don't see any, like, all right, let me back up. I don't see anything wrong with this in, like, showing your partner is like, hey, look, this is how we do things. I want to know how you do things. Well, I see how you do things, and you know, maybe we can make a compromise on some things. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have to worry about that because I'm a really good cook, and my wife likes her food seasoned. Just like I like my food seasoned. So but this is a real thing right here too. All right. This is a real thing. Let's go to the next video.
You do know.
So as you can see in the beginning, it was, you know, he would gently pick her up and, you know, push her to the pillow, you know, ask to sit her up or something like that. And then you get a little rough with it. What I can say about this video, because I didn't do anything like this specifically, but I have done things like, you know, with more of an attitude, that my wife asked me to do it versus my brand new girlfriend asked me to do it. All right, not saying that I dislike her, it's just over time you kind of get annoyed with each other, and it's not an interracial thing, it's not a black or white thing, it's more of a, you know, what this is showing is that it doesn't matter what race you are, or, you know, if you're interracially dating or strictly sticking to your race. Things like this are going to happen where you just get annoyed with each other. All right. There's no more tiptoeing at some point in the relationship. You're just going to come out and say things or do things that you're just like, you know what, I'm sick of this. Let's push forward. So you see right there, you have a white man that's very enthusiastic about, you know, being with, he says, when she's black, AF, whatever, however you want to say it. I mean, I guess that's a reason to dance. Like I said, if you're, I don't know how I feel about, like, to be honest with you. And I think it's because I don't feel about this. There's no substance here. All right, that's probably why. Let's look at the comments to see how other people were feeling about this. Is a guy, stop commenting on my Insta too. At least keep the hate on TikTok. Slightly tan at the most. This what I be talking about. And then another guy posts, you're not even, like, saying like you're not even black, but I know he's talking about either his girlfriend or something like that. Girl, now you know damn well. I don't know where that's coming from. What is this? Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. Yeah, this doesn't sit well with me. But can you explain why it doesn't? Because I can't. All right, somebody help me out. Somebody please help me find racism. Somebody help me please find. Like, let's move on.
Smoke my butt, smoke my. Smoke my butt, smoke my.
Now, this, whenever you two are solid with each other, it doesn't really matter where you come from. But the thing I see is how people look at us, and I know they don't pay none of our bills, and you know, interracially dating, people are gonna have a problem with it. Like, there's some people that, you know, that talk to me about it, and it was never from any of my circle or my community, because I've watched my dad date white women too. He's dated Puerto Rican women, he's dated, you know, Mexican women, he's dated black women. I never had a problem growing up and seeing this on my own. In my school, like, we even came together like butt cheeks, you know, for the football team, for the basketball game, for baseball. Like, we came together for things like those. But we had an understanding that some of our parents were still in that era where it's like, you don't date outside your race, right? And my wife has had people come up to her and say things to her. For example, you're a Southern belle. Why are you with the black man? You know what I'm saying? And it was just kind of like, and it doesn't hurt me. What it does is it just makes me realize that the world hasn't really changed. Like, outwardly, it's like he probably wouldn't say that to anybody he didn't know. But to somebody he did know, yeah, he's all down with, you know, just discussing it, you know. Let me think of something that that I would find strange, but I would never comment on or tell them how to run their, like, you've seen black and white, all right? It's almost common these days to see black and white, and it's normally a black man and a white woman. That's just what I see. And then I see, you know, a white man with a black woman, and then it's like, huh, that's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different. Nothing bad. Now, if I was to see like an Asian, not like a butt or anything like that, like I'm going to go downhill from here. But if I was to see, like, let's say somebody who's Japanese with somebody who was Indian, like, I'd go, I've never seen that before. All right. And I probably have a few questions for them, and probably some questions that I shouldn't ask. But it's going to be questions that, like, get the mind jogging. Like, how do you guys handle adversity? Because I know the Japanese community, like, they're pretty strict to who they date and marry. And then you got the Indian community who's, like, I was going to say something. You got the Indian community that's very strict on who they date and marry as well. And so that's where my line of question is going to be. I already know the internals, they get upset at each other from time to time. You know what I'm saying? They go, you know, they don't get intimate whenever they're mad with each other, and, you know, they argue about, you know, who's seasoning the food properly. Like, I get those things, and those would be more along the questions I'd ask. The questions I wouldn't ask is, how could you? Like, what? What? He liked rock music. She liked rock music. We bonded over rock music. Like, what do you mean, how could we? So I think this is very wholesome right here. All right, very wholesome. Let's keep it going. All right, so this doesn't really have anything to do with interracial dating or interracial couples. What it does have to do with is, like, you know, what women require. And no woman wants to have a feeling of, like, just being used. Nobody wants to be used. You know, just like men, we don't want to be used. All right, there's certain things that men want. There's certain things that women want. And, like, if we come together like butt cheeks, we can get this thing figured out where the guy can get, what she wants is, she wants cuddle time afterwards, and she wants, you know, to, like, to come down from that, you know, that pure desire kind of feeling and into a more like we are a couple kind of feeling. Doesn't matter whether you're black, white, brown, blue, green, pink, purple. This is just the reality of women, and we can move on from here. I know this feeling too, because this is one of those some people just aren't used to it. And you know, without gaslighting myself, all right, like I know when people are looking at me, and me and my wife, and like, you know, got the eyes of like, oh, what a cute couple right there. And then I know when people are just kind of like indifferent about it, they're like, so what, you guys touch butts from time to time. And then there's people that are like, you know, they give you those eyes where, you know, it's like they find distaste in what you guys are doing, and it's just being an interracial couple. Like, I know this one all too well. Like, it's, like I said, it's not, like, if somebody was to gaslight me and going like, how do you know they were being, you know, racist? It was like, well, what else? They can't smell me right now. Like, we're in the car. We're not blocking anybody from getting out. We're sitting in a parking lot. You know, we just got into the vehicle, and, you know, I'm touching her on her leg just like any couple would. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so there's nothing going on here that's outside of the ordinary. So I know why you're looking at us. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's whenever you... Now, if I was in the middle of an intersection, I was doing this, and, you know, somebody starts honking at me and my wife, and I go, what is it, because I'm black and she's white? Like, okay, that might be, but who is doing that? Like I said, sometimes people just gotta mind their own business and just kind of like suck it up. Hey, this is the way the world's going. You know what I'm saying? I love relationships. I love good relationships. Like, I find it easier to take my family around people who are in good relationships, whether that's going to be, you know, it doesn't really matter what race the people are. You know, I find good in the person, not race, even though I claim that all my friends that are male, they're black. Married couples, we get a mixture, you know what I'm saying? Like my friend and his girlfriend, black and white. All right, we get mixtures. And I do, and to go back on what I said, I do have a really good friend a friend who is white. All right, he hangs out with us too. He hangs out with all my, but it's probably because I got him into a black motorcycle club. Let me stop. There was nothing mean and nasty said there, I hope. But he hang around with you know, with the rest of my friends, and like, we don't see him as a white boy either. We don't even call him that. We call him Joey. That's all we do. We just call him by his name. Him and his wife are always more than welcome to just slide whenever they want. And it's been like that for the past 10 years. All right, let's move on. Alright, so there's some truth to this one too. Outside of the fact that, like, I'm like a lump of charcoal that's been lit. My wife, she gets cold very easily. Whenever I'm around, I warm her up, but normally I don't want her to hang off of me because I'm probably really hot. Like, I feel really hot. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a difference in how bodies regulate temperature. And women are, whether black or white, they have thinner skin than we do. You know what I'm saying? So if there was a white woman underneath all those blankets, I'm pretty sure she'd probably be cold too. That's it. But what this is a good thing is showing that, hey, this is normal. All right. When you strip down our skin, when you strip away our skin color, like, you get normal people who do normal things. You know what I'm saying? Culturally, we might be different a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, we're all good, man. We're Now, there is some merit to this. All right, there's some merit to this. You're gonna have people from even your own community, you know, throw shade on you because of you know, who you're happy with. The worst thing about this is that if the person that, like, let's say you're in an interracial relationship, and it's a terrible relationship. The worst thing is that, you know, you have people from your community and from his community trying to pull you apart, which you should be apart because it's a bad relationship. But you're staying together because, you know, they're only adding fuel to you. You're determined to make things work now, to defeat the naysayers. Like, I really think that, you know, people should definitely mind their own business and let the relationship crumble the way it's going to crumble if it's meant to crumble. All right. That's all I got to say about that. If you're confused, drop it in the comments. I'll make another video about it. All right. Let's move forward. All right, white boy, you're getting a little frisky with the sisters out here. No, I'm joking. That's what we do. We're men. We're men. If they're in a relationship, go ahead, grab that butt cheek. You know what I'm saying? It's an intimate setting. All right, I know somebody's going to clip that last part. Throw it out there to the world. But make sure when you do, you at least paste my video down there. Be completely fair to me, all right? Because I'm going to, like, leave this up. Like, it's not often you get people talking great about their significant other, and then here on TikTok you find a whole wall of it where they just scroll down, and it's a really good feeling. Don't get me wrong, I know that these guys they got their problems. You know what I'm saying? I know it. I know that maybe they could have gotten kicked out of their apartment at some point because maybe one of them lost their job or something like that. Or maybe, you know, they had the midnight, a coworker, which was the opposite sex, had texted them. And, you know, they got into a fight over it. I know. It's a regular relationship. You're going to have your shakes and your quakes. What this is showing is that you guys come back together at the end of the day, you know, and you're glad to be with each other. You're glad that you have somebody to go through life with. All right. I don't think this isn't bad. This isn't bad. I can't think of one way this could be bad. I really don't.
But when you see a white man with a sister, oh, they get the baddest sister they got in town. Oh, white boys don't fuck around. When they get a sister, they get a sister. And they be walking holding hands. Goddamn right, I got her.
I mean, Eddie Griffin, one of the greatest comedians out there. And he definitely was able to put that in a way where everybody can absorb what he was saying, find the humor in it without pissing anybody off. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's one or two people who were mad out there, but it was so eloquent the way he had put that, right? I wish one day that I can be just as eloquent too. Do I agree with what he said? I find that a lot of that whenever you do bounce over to the other side of the community, you're looking for the best of that community. All right, just like how you would if you were in your own community. Now, if you think the best of the other community was, like, let's say I'm a black man and I absolutely found fat white women, you know, like amazing, then that's what I find to be the best of that community. All right, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I seen the fat and skinny interracial. I seen the fat and fat interracial. I seen a whole, not a lot of it, you know, because whenever you see it, you go like, hey, that's an interracial couple right there. But I've seen those combinations. That's pretty much all I can add to it. Oh man, we're already at the end. Like, there's no more arrows here. Like, come on, man. Like, it's always the bad stuff that gets a lot more attention. Let me see. Nope, we got more. Check this out. Look at this. Hold on, let's see what we got here.
What are you doing? Gotta keep the tan up. It's not a skin color, it's a lifestyle, Brian. See, you wouldn't know that because you're white as a ghost. You're haunting this house with your whiteness, Brian.
I would say this is in reverse for my wife and I. Because it's really easy for me to blacken. But for her, she's definitely got to keep the tan going. And in the winter, she doesn't like wearing shorts, dresses, none of that, because like it's hard to catch some sun and to get that nice little golden color that she gets whenever she does tan. I think it looks good. I do like the tan. I also like the pastiness too, because it's probably because it's just the difference in like it's something different from myself. And whenever I say pasty, I'm not saying like, you know, I'm saying like his skin tone right there. Like, you know, I kind of like that. I kind of like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because it's different. And it might just be because it's my wife. All right. That might be what it is. All right, and I don't know if you could tell from these videos, but your boy's in love. He ain't stupidly in love. I still got a show to run here. You know what I'm saying? By show, I mean, like, you know, my family, my house, I'm still the leader. But I do the things that I do because I am in love. And I'm not afraid to say it, you know. Will there ever come a point where I fall out of love? Yeah, probably not. You don't find a lot of men pushing their wives away. Even whenever men decide to cheat, we don't want our wives to go anywhere. You know, we want our cake and eat it too. And like who doesn't? Could you imagine if you can get something for absolutely nothing? Like, you would do it. Like, everybody would take that deal, okay? And that is going to wrap up our show. So if you like what you've seen here, don't forget to hit that like button. Share this video with all your friends, whether it be, you know, black or white or yellow or whatever color there is out there. You know, whatever colors. I have nothing for you. If you, no, wait a second. I just messed that up again. If you have nothing for me, I have nothing for you. And I'll see you in the next one.